Hello again, Struck Club. Today I'm bringing you another video for Outriders, and this is kind of a video that's gonna be me sharing my impressions of the game. Keep in mind, this video is not a review of the full game because I've only played the demo, and it's just sharing my impressions of the demo. I got asked several times what I think about the demo, do I like the demo, how did I find the demo, and I decided to make a video answering those questions. So I'm gonna start with the too long didn't read version, and the TLDR is that I loved the demo and I haven't enjoyed the game's first few hours as much as I enjoyed this demo. There's a reasonable FPS for my 6-year-old 1066GB GPU, unlike some other recent launches like Godfall or Cyberpunk, just to name a few. And there's a ton of quality of life features, such as the mouse cursor can be constrained to the window, such as auto-looting going to the stash, being able to mass target items and to mass sell them, mass target items, mass dismantle, and all sorts of good things. I mean, I would need a lot of time to list all of those, and I won't be doing that now. But there's a few missions and a few side missions to run. And you have access to all 4 classes, and you have access to half of their abilities, meaning 4 out of 8 abilities for each class. And you have access to 2 out of 20 total trade points that you would be able to use. So at level 30, which is the max level of the heroes, you would have 20 trade points. This is me guessing, but this is my guess based on what we've seen from trailers. Level 30 characters with 20 trade points. So we only have 2 of those. It's not enough, but it's a decent amount to have a little bit of extra customization, but you shouldn't think too much about that. Then add in a bunch of blue gear with tier 1 mods and almost impossible to get legendary wood, because the epic purple gear has been removed from the demo, and you've got some variety of setups to test. Now let's go into detail about some of the things, and I'd like to start with the combat. It feels smooth and very fluid. The sound design of the weapons is amazing, the physics of those is amazing as well. It feels impactful and in the best possible way it can. And with a sufficient amount of weapon types, plus variants, plus mods, we can get to test some cool combos, even though we're only getting a fracture of the things we can get when the game is out there in April. The abilities are another eye candy that's more than just that. They are also impactful and kind of nudge the player into thinking how to combine certain abilities in the best way possible. And if you throw in some gear mods that boost those abilities, or give them extra charges, or let you heal when you use that ability, or increase the healing of that ability, and so on, all sorts of good stuff that's ability related, you've got another limited bit of the game to tinker with. Incomplete, but still enough to kind of give you an idea of what to expect. And keep in mind that there are many mods to find, even in the demo. In the game there's going to be over 350 mods. In the demo there's going to be a fracture of those. And modding and other types of crafting is not in the demo. You can get purple items not from drops but from the shops, from the vendors every now and then. I haven't found one, but other people have told me they have found some themselves. You can get legendary items with legendary mods from certain enemies or chests if you get lucky, but good luck with that. It takes a while. I haven't gotten one myself, for example. And don't get your hopes on getting a legendary, but as I said, some people have already found such from elites or from chests. Some boss encounters, for example, like the Altered fight at the end of the demo, the final demo mission, they seem to have had their drop tables removed. The boss drops 0 every time you kill him, and this is probably to limit the chances of getting legendary items before the actual launch. Then the game also has a system that allows us to go back to a certain point in the story, reverting our quest progress but retaining our levels, world tiers, equipment, skills, and trade points. This allows players to farm specific parts of the demo if they felt like it. On top of that, there are also some missions you can endlessly repeat without needing to revert the story progress. The world tier system is pretty easy to understand. As you kill enemies, you gain world tier XP, and if you die, you lose that XP. The demo is limited up to tier 5, and you can never de-level your world tier. For example, you can never go back from tier 5 to 4 by dying. You can always change back to it if you want to. If it's too difficult, you can go back. But if you die at world tier XP 10 or 1, you would just go back to 0 at world tier XP for that level. You can get that XP back again, so just make sure you don't die too much if you want to progress the world tier. If it's too difficult, maybe go to a lower one and then try and tackle the next world tier later. Each world tier will change various things such as the loot rarity, the legendary drop rates, the enemy level and the dropped item level. The enemy and item levels start increasing after tier 4, going up by 1 every tier. So at tier 4 it's plus 1 enemy and item drop level, tier 5 it's plus 2 and so on. Once you reach a certain world tier, for the first time you also get a one-time reward to claim, which is usually a weapon of a certain rarity or materials. First you get some green weapons, then blue weapons, then purple weapons, and then finally you start getting legendary weapons the first time you unlock that new tier. The last 4 tiers are the ones that give you legendary weapons. So tier 15, 14, 13 and 12 give you a legendary weapon the first time you unlock them. So a player who has reached the final world tier will have 4 guaranteed legendary weapons. And since we know we can level up weapons to our level and to our content level, even though you get, if you get a low level legendary, it's still useful. Even if you don't want to use it and want to dismantle it, you can still get the mod and put it in a different weapon. The character customization is detailed enough without being overwhelming. For me, it's a good middle ground between low and high amount of customization. Each head type has its separate skin tones and distinguishing facial features, so make sure to check them all. Then you've got the standard eye color as well. In terms of hairstyle, there's a decent amount to choose from, and males also have access to facial hair. There are also a few hair colors to pick from on top of that, which also affect the facial hair as well. And then there's markings and piercings for both male and female heroes, plus a makeup option to select from for the female characters. The players can also earn accolades to unlock cosmetic customizations for their vehicle, which is not unlocked in the demo yet. Then they can also customize their banner, which is used for fast traveling, as well as various emotes. Those are completed by doing things like headshot kills, assault rifle kills, SMG shotgun, etc. kills, or kills with a certain ability, or other class or weapon related things. The game also provides us with some extra information, plus maybe some spoilers, when we go and open the journal. And that is where we see a list of NPCs, enemies, miscellaneous war objects and all sorts of things like that. And if you go to the enemies tab, you'll see that there are a total of 10 altered enemies that we would encounter, such as the boss of the last demo mission, who is the first and only altered enemy you have seen in the demo, apart from another guy that shows up in the story, which I'm not gonna talk about, and we know he's probably gonna be one of the altered enemies we fight eventually. On top of that, we also have access to a very detailed and even color-coded in-game guide that should answer some of the basic questions players could have regarding many of the game's systems and mechanics, such as crafting, such as mechanics like elites, what elite is. We were wondering in my stream what is an elite. It's the one that has a skull on top of their head. So things like that are in that in-game guide, so make sure to check that if you're wondering about something. And then another thing that many were wondering is about removing the motion blur. So if you go to your C or wherever your system folder is, then users, then type, whatever your username is, then update local madness saved config Windows no editor folder, then you look for the engine.ini and then game user settings.ini and open those with the text editor. At the bottom in those files you can add 4 individual lines as you can see on your screen, and then you can do that in both files, save them, and this will remove the motion blur. Keep in mind, do that at your own risk. Don't blame me if something goes wrong, but I didn't like the motion blur. I did that and I removed it. There's also other things you can change, such as those you can see on your screen, but again, kind of do it at your own risk. All the classes are fun. For example, the Devastator and Trickster are the most preferred classes with the few abilities we have in the demo and early game playstyle. Those seem to be the strongest of the bunch. I'm not saying that the others are weak, just in the demo they are not as strong as the Devastator and the Trickster. And that sums up the video. I hope you've enjoyed all the information and I hope it's helpful and it makes it easier to understand whether the demo is worth testing or not. But I say just go and download the demo, play it, test it. It's better to play the demo than to watch someone else playing the demo. To get notified when I upload more content for this game or other games like this one, which would be looters of all varieties, isometric, third-person ARPGs, looter shooters and all sorts of looters like that, you could subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button to not miss out on my content update. And optionally, you can even join as a member of the Struck Club on YouTube as a channel member to get access to exclusive perks such as special emotes custom made by me, special badges custom made by me that represents how many months you have been a member for, as well as opt-in of editing tutorials that I can give for Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, as well as shoutouts and things like that. And I would like to use this part of the video to thank all my YouTube members and Twitch subscribers. Thank you for supporting the channel and keeping me going. Thank you also for watching this video, everyone. Keep it cool, Struck Club. Until next time, and goodbye.